What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. If you don't like it, you can have that seatbelt.
So Rockstar just bought Nintendo more time. So unless you guys been living under a rock, you would know that Rockstar just announced that GTA 6 has just been hit with yet another delay. From previously being expected and to be released this year. So pretty much the game went from, for the most part, more than likely going to be released this exact month to delayed till next May. And now the game won't be shipping until next November. So pretty much a full year delay, which is actually par for the course for Rockstar, honestly. And this has bought Nintendo more time. Because I've been saying for the last few years or so that I believe that Nintendo would go out of its way and do everything that it could to try to secure GTA 6 for Switch 2. And if they have not already convinced Rockstar to do so, now they get even more time before the game releases to try to convince Rockstar to release this game on the Switch 2. And seeing as how the Switch 2 is selling, it's past 10 million units, and apparently it might actually be at 12 million or so right now. By the time GTA 6 actually comes out, the Switch 2 may have already matched the Xbox Series consoles sales, or at least the sales that they have currently. And that's pretty crazy when you think about it, considering how long ago that system came out. So that's something that Rockstar definitely is going to have to pay attention to, especially when it's more than likely that the game will not come out on the PC at release. So they're depending on the sales of this massively expensive game to sell based on two systems, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series. But seeing as how a lot of people are shying away from purchasing the Xbox Series and even supporting the Xbox Series, Rockstar is going to have to really take a hard look at if they should actually release this game on the Switch 2 or not. Now, like I said before, I think Nintendo has gone out of their way to try to get this game on the Switch 2. Like, I'm sure they probably actually went to Rockstar and said, you know what is the minimum that you need for this game to run on the Switch 2? What do you need from us to have this game run on our system? And Rockstar, being Rockstar, they don't technically need to port this game to the Switch 2. They don't have to do that. It's not like the game isn't going to sell if it's not on the Switch 2, despite the Switch 2 being the best-selling system. When it comes to Rockstar, it's going to come down to how much quality is the Switch 2 port. If the game looks like trash or runs like trash on the Switch 2, Rockstar is not going to port it to Switch 2. No matter how much they think it would sell. And one of the reasons, supposedly the main reason for this delay, is to just add even more polish to the game and exceed everyone's expectations. Even though there's a rumor here that one of the main reasons also is that I guess there was some kind of union busting going on where like people got fired, a bunch of people got fired trying to form a union. And that's the real reason, or one of the reasons for the delay. Who knows if that's true or not? I mean, that kind of thing has happened at a lot of companies before, so you can't 100% rule that out. But on the face of it, supposedly the reason for this delay is to make this game as polished as possible. But adding another 6 months to the release date if Nintendo hasn't already convinced them to release this on the Switch 2. It's giving them more months to be able to try to convince Rockstar to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that if this game came to Switch 2 that it would be, especially if it's something that they didn't agree upon a long time ago, it doesn't guarantee that this game would come out at release date on Switch 2. But if they had already agreed for a later port of the game, and then now the original launch date is now 6 months later, that means that even a later Switch 2 port may actually have a smaller window between release, or maybe even now come out on release date. But it's just very interesting to see how Rockstar will actually react to the Nintendo Switch 2, because they claim that that they're full in on Switch 2, but you can't really be full in without your biggest franchise. Now, Red Dead Redemption 2 will be hitting the Switch 2 in like a remaster form or whatever, along with the other systems. And I think that this delay shows just why this game hasn't been announced yet, because everyone expected GTA 6 to come out in May, and they expected this Red Dead Redemption 2 remaster to be announced this month or last month. Last month. And surprisingly, it was not announced. But now this may make sense. Maybe since GTA is not coming out until next November, now they can announce this port at the beginning of the year, release in February, March, or whatever. There's also the rumor of the GTA 4 remake, and looking at how far now that GTA 6 is now coming out a full year from now, that gives them plenty of room to announce and release these remasters and give them plenty of leg room. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how Rockstar reacts to the Nintendo Switch 2. I know a lot of people think that just because this game is coming to the Series S, that automatically means that it'll come to the Switch 2, and that is actually not the case. And the reason why it's not the case is because it all comes down to Rockstar and what Rockstar wants. And then also we have to remember that while the Switch 2 has shown to be able to run some of these games as good and in some areas better than the Series S, it depends on how these games are being developed. GTA 6 appears to be a very CPU heavy game, and the Series S still has a more powerful CPU than the Switch 2. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Do you still think that it's impossible for this game to come to the Switch 2 after seeing all these like amazing looking games that we've already seen running on the Switch 2 thus far? And if it does come to the Switch 2, will you buy it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.